Welcome to Seeking Kaizen. Today's topic is Total Productive Maintenance Part 1. In this training session, I'll be discussing number of aspects regarding TPM, like what is TPM, history of TPM, why do we actually need TPM, contribution, who all need to contribute in an organization to achieve TPM, what should be the approach, and what are the 8 pillars of TPM. So let's start with the very first question, which is what is TPM? So in TPM there are 3 words which represent their own meaning. The very first word, total, means participation of all the employees should be there, including all departments, operations, equipments and processes. The word productive means ability to maximize the efficiency of the production system. Obviously, the production system needs to be as efficient as possible. Now, if we talk about the third word, maintenance, today the TPM itself has brought the maintenance into focus as a necessary and vital important part of the business. It is no longer regarded as a non-profit activity. So these 3 words represent their own meaning. We'll discuss about the TPM thoroughly with the coming time. Now, it is the process of getting employees involved in the maintaining their own equipment while emphasizing proactive and preventive maintenance techniques. We need to understand here very basic thing that TPM is a set of activities. These activities are done to restore equipment to its optimal condition and changing the work environment to maintain those conditions through daily maintenance activities. Now these activities basically ensure that machine is working as per the plan, so that no breakdown is there, no stops or running slowly issue is there, no defects are there and no accidents are there. Okay, so we need to understand here that why there's a need to do all these activities. Okay, so what's the goal? The goal is to create a production environment free from mechanical breakdowns and technical disturbances by involving everybody in the maintenance duties without heavily relying on mechanics or engineers. So how it works, if engineer or mechanic or maintenance department is able to train the operators, so for the basic minor issues operator will be able to solve those issues by himself, and the maintenance departments or mechanic can simply get involved in critical tasks. Okay, now let's proceed for the second topic, which is history of TPM. The first company to incorporate this was Nippon Denso, a company that created parts for Toyota. Second thing, this is an innovative Japanese concept developed by Seiichi Nakajima. Origin of TPM can be traced back to 1950s. So we need to understand here that since 1950 people are very much aware of these activities, and these activities are basically helping them to achieve targets. So next, why do we actually need TPM? So before proceeding with the first point, we need to understand here that why do we actually need TPM? We need to compare situations here. So let's start with the very first situation where TPM is not there. Okay, traditional practices are going on. So let's understand this thing, that operators who are actually using the machine, they are very much limited to manning their own respective job. Whenever there is any particular mechanical trouble, operators stop working and they simply call any mechanic or engineer to fix the problem, because even with the minor issue, operator is very much scared with this thing that the problem might get worse, so they simply leave everything for the maintenance department. And whereas on the other hand, the experienced mechanic knows that they have become indispensable specialists in this trade, and now this particular specific activity results immense wastage of man hours, production time and etc. Now let's discuss the scenario where TPM is there. Okay, with the adoption of TPM, things tend to change. Today TPM builds on the classical Japanese concepts of autonomous maintenance with process mapping for cross-functional duties, coupled with right tools and training. TPM equips the operators the necessary skills to address mechanical or equipment related issues. Calling the engineers and mechanics is no longer necessary since operators are already prepared and confident in dealing with the problems. So, undoubtedly, TPM is one of the most effective ways to create a lean organization with reduced cycle time and improved operational efficiency. So let's discuss this first point. So why do we need TPM? So here I have presented two scenarios, and by now we know, at least we know that why do we actually need TPM. Okay, so let's discuss with this first point, that why do we need TPM. We need it to improve the integrity of production and the quality of products through regular equipment maintenance. We need to think of TPM as preventative medicine for our machines and equipment, because these particular activities are simply going to help our business and increase the production processes. Second point, increase the production while at the same time increasing employee morale and job satisfaction. Third point, to avoid unscheduled maintenance. Now every organization has got scheduled maintenance policy, but with the help of TPM one can simply avoid unscheduled maintenance. Achieve zero defects, zero breakdown and zero accident. Simply, it's very obvious to understand that a machine cannot work properly because of any particular defect or breakdown issue, and a machine not working properly will directly affect the quality of the product. So these are the reasons which are able to justify at least that why do we actually need TPM. Okay, so let's start with another topic, which is contribution. So here we need to understand that who all can contribute. Before proceeding ahead, we need to understand this thing, that TPM is a strategy which states that everyone should participate in maintenance rather than just the maintenance team. This approach uses the skills of all employees and seeks to incorporate maintenance into the everyday performance. Under the total productive maintenance philosophy, everyone from top level management to equipment operators should participate in maintenance. So here, these are the three important factors which are present in any organization. So let's start with the first point, which is operators. So operators need to take responsibility for the day-to-day maintenance of their machines, and this includes the cleaning and regular lubrication. Okay, so before proceeding ahead, we need to understand here that the word cleaning is related with equipment cleaning, obviously, but equipment cleaning does not mean like just polishing the surface like we do with our car. The operator needs to make sure that inside of the equipment is clean as well. He needs to take off all the covers, he needs to remove the dirty oil from the tank, he needs to simply find the dirt. The word cleaning here is something like inspection, something like checking. So the operator needs to check for the fault. He needs to find the dirt on the benches, beneath the machine, in corners, dirt and dust anywhere in the loose parts and leak parts which are not noticed yet. Therefore, thorough cleaning should be there. So operator needs to get rid of dirt which is getting accumulated over the mount for years. Okay, because of this basic activity, there will be less accidents, less breakdowns and less defective products as well, and it's easy to identify loose parts too. Every problem should be marked with the label, which can be only removed once the fault is fully checked or repaired. So here I have discussed about the operators factor, like how operators can simply contribute. Next, we need to understand about the maintenance managers. Now, the maintenance managers and technicians are expected to train and support operators to meet their goals and perform more advanced preventive maintenance activities, as I have discussed the same thing earlier also. And the third thing, management should very much get involved in TPM by promoting this as a corporate policy. Now let's discuss about the another factor, which is approach. Means what sort of approach should be there. Now, to achieve the world class results, any organization should simply understand this basic thing, that TPM comprises of these 8 pillars, and the basic foundation laid here is the 5S foundation. 5S foundation. We need to understand here the goal of 5S is to create a work environment that is clean and well organized. It consists of 5 elements. We can see in this chart that the Japanese term, which is Seri, Siton, Sisu, Seketsu, and Sitsuke. These words are equivalent to S term with English translation. The very first word means organization. We need to sort now. We need to eliminate anything that is not truly needed in the work area. Very first. Second, sit on means tidiness. Now we need to organize the remaining items. Third, seesaw meaning cleaning. We need to clean and inspect the work area. Second last word, siketsu meaning standardization. Now in this particular domain we need to understand that standardization means we need to create standards for performing the above 3 activities which I have mentioned, Siri, Siton and Siso. We need to create standards for performing these 3 particular activities, and the last Sitsuke means sustaining. Okay, we need to create a discipline here. We need to ensure the standards are regularly applied. So now we can simply understand that in a clean and well organized work environment, tools and parts are much easier to find. It is much easier to spot emerging issues such as fluid leaks, material spills, metal shavings from unexpected wear, hairline cracks in mechanism, etc. Now let's understand the very important concept, which is showroom concept. Well, this is not as such any concept, this is an ideology, and we can understand this particular thing with the help of an example. So whenever we visit any car showroom, we are able to see number of cars placed beautifully in their designated section, and all the cars are thoroughly cleaned. They are having suitable gap between each other. So why this is done? What's the exact motive of brand? So brand here is trying to convince the customer, so that customer simply does not get any sort of quality related questions in his mind. Okay, same thing can be done on the production floor. If well organized work environment is maintained, clean and well organized work environment is maintained, it becomes very easier for us to convince the customer. Okay, we can simply take our customer on the production floor, and they can simply see the machines, and they can simply see all the basic work going on the production floor. So customer there will automatically get convinced about the quality of the product. Okay, let's proceed with the another particular topic, which is 8 pillars. So we need to understand here that the 8 pillars of total productive maintenance focus on proactive and preventive techniques to help improve the equipment reliability. So the very first is autonomous maintenance. So autonomous maintenance means that ensuring that operators take full responsibility on routine maintenance like cleaning, lubricating and inspecting, and for this they need to get suitable training too. This gives machine operators a feeling of ownership of their equipment, and it also ensures that the machinery is always clean and lubricated. Okay, and this helps in identifying issues proactively and frees up maintenance staff for high level tasks. So let's proceed with another pillar, which is focused improvement. So this is based around the Japanese term Kaizen, meaning continuous improvement. So this particular pillar, focused improvement, looks at the process as a whole and brainstorms ideas for how to improve it. Okay, so we can have small groups of employees who work together proactively to achieve regular incremental improvements in the equipment operation. So how does this particular focus improvement concept helps? It helps us in number of ways, like recurring problems are identified and resolved by cross-functional teams, and second, combines the collective talents of a company to create an engine for continuous improvement. Therefore, focused improvement ensures improvements are standardized, making them repeatable and sustainable. Another pillar, planned maintenance. So planned maintenance involves studying metrics like failure rates and historical downtime, and then scheduling maintenance tasks based around these predicted or measured failure rates or downtime periods. So that is a sort of a study which is done keeping the historical downtime in the mind. Okay, once the data is prepared, after then the maintenance task can be scheduled based on these particular data, and the failure rate and all these things can be predicted easily. Now we need to understand this thing, that there's a specific time to perform maintenance on equipment. You can schedule maintenance around the time when equipment is idle or producing at low capacity, rarely interrupting any production. So how does this particular thing help? It helps in number of ways, like significantly reduces instances of unplanned stop time and enabling most maintenance to be planned for times when equipment is not scheduled for production. Okay, so let's start with another pillar, which is quality maintenance. So we need to see here that the quality maintenance pillar focuses on design error detection and prevention into the production process. We need to focus on this thing, the error detection and prevention. Okay, so by proactively detecting the source of errors or defects, processes become more reliable, producing products with the right specification, that too at the very first time it becomes more easily achievable. Possibly the biggest benefit of quality maintenance is it prevents defective products from moving down the line, which could lead to a lot of rework. With targeted quality maintenance, quality issues are addressed and permanent countermeasures are put in place, therefore minimizing or completely eliminating defects and downtime related to defected products. Now here I have mentioned that what's exactly quality maintenance, but how this thing can be achieved. This is done with the help of concept which is called root cause analysis. Okay, so RCA is a systematic process for identifying root causes of any particular problems, and we can do this with the help of 5 whys. So what do I mean by what do I mean by saying simply 5 whys? So unpredicted problems may occur in any team or process. These problems are just symptoms of deeper issues, and fixing a problem quickly may be a convenient solution. However, it doesn't protect your work process from recurring mistakes. The 5 whys which I have talked about, it is a technique which is one of the most effective tools for root cause analysis. So root cause analysis itself, it's the concept which means that we need to find the cause of the problem. Okay, so the 5 whys technique which I was talking about is the most effective tool for the RCA in the lean management arsenal, and every team faces roadblocks in its daily work, and using these 5 whys will simply help them to identify the root cause of any problem and protect the process from recurring mistakes and failures. So the 5 why method, it is a part of the Toyota production system and was developed by Sakichi Toyoda, Japanese inventor at that time, and the technique became an integral part of the lean philosophy. The basis of Toyota's scientific approach is to ask why 5 times. Okay, 5 whys means we need to ask why 5 times. Whenever you find a problem, by repeating why 5 times, the nature of the problem as well as its solution becomes clear. Okay, so now we can see this chart. So the very first block says problem statement. What's the problem? Belt in the main transmission drive snapped in the grinding machine. Why1. Now I can see the problem, I can identify the problem. I need to ask 5 whys from myself. Why1. Why did the belt snap? Answer. There was a heavy wear and tear despite a short usage period. Why2. Why heavy wear and tear? Coolant carrying grinding, muck drips on the belt. Why3. Why does coolant drip on the belt? The coolant chute leading from the grinding table to the sump is not big enough and hence the coolant overflows. Why4. Why is the chute not big enough? Coolant pump capacity was increased to accommodate higher feed of jobs. Why5. Why wasn't the chute modified to accommodate higher flow? Now by asking these 5 questions, by now I have concluded to this statement that this problem has arisen because of the design flaw. Okay, so we need to understand that the coolant needs to be modified to accommodate higher volume flow to the sump. So this thing we need to understand that why 5 whys philosophy should be used. Okay, another pillar is early equipment management. The TPM pillar of early equipment management takes the practical knowledge and overall understanding of manufacturing equipment acquired through total productive maintenance and uses it to improve the design of new equipment. Okay, designing the new equipment with the input of people who use it most allows suppliers to improve maintainability and the way in which the machine operates in future designs. Obviously we'll be able to get new machine which is much easier to maintain, which is much, operators are much familiar with the problems arising, so it becomes easier to operate. So when discussing the design of the equipment, it's important to talk about things like the ease of the cleaning and lubrication, accessibility of parts, and ergonomically placing controls in a way that is comfortable for the operator. And taking this approach increases efficiency even more because new equipment already meets the desired specification and has fewer startup issues, therefore reaching planned performance level quicker. Another particular pillar is safety, health, and environment. No, before that is training and education. Training and education applies to operators as well as managers. They are intended to ensure everyone is on the same page with the TPM process. Okay, so that the TPM goals are achievable. This is where operators learn skills to proactively maintain equipment and identify emerging problems. Managers become well versed in TPM principles, employee development, and coaching. Another pillar is safety, health, and environment. Very important. Maintaining a safe working environment means employees can perform their tasks in a safe place without health risk. It's important to produce an environment which makes production more efficient. Obviously, production should be as efficient as possible, but we should not forget this thing that it should not be at the risk of an employee's safety and health. Obviously, to achieve this, any solution introduced in TPM process should always consider safety, health, and the environment. The last pillar, TPM in administration. So a good TPM program is only as good as the sum of its parts. Total productive maintenance should look beyond the plant floor by addressing and eliminating areas of waste in administrative functions. So what I mean to say that TPM can be executed on the production floor, plant floor, okay, but there might be some problems which are there in the plant floor, production floor, but the root cause of problem is not there in the plant floor. It can be an administrative issue also. Okay, so this means supporting production by improving things like order processing, procurement, and scheduling. Administrative functions are often the first step in the entire manufacturing process, so it's important they are streamlined and waste free. This TPM administration is a sort of important pillar we are talking about, and we can consider an example also that if order processing procedures becomes more streamlined, then material gets to the plant floor quicker with fewer errors, eliminating potential downtime while missing parts are tracked down. So here we discussed the 8 pillars of TPM. And in this part 1 of the TPM video, I talked about these aspects. And in the part 2, I'll be discussing benefits of TPM, what are the 6 losses, and how can we measure TPM, and how can we simply execute TPM in organization. So here we discuss number of things, and thank you so much for giving a valuable time. Thank you.